Hey, I'm Vanessa, and I was going to do a small little house tour of my house plants that I recently became very addicted to. And I'm pretty sure the word I just used was not the right word. Recently became addicted to. So, I'm going to show you what I currently have. I don't know a whole lot yet on what exactly I have as far as scientific names. I do know like what their like names are called, as far as like Pothos, Wandering Jew, stuff like that. So we're gonna start with what's here in my kitchen at my propagation station. It's not really a station; it's just the area where I have them. I have a kitchen with a south-facing window. So, all right, let's just get to it. I'll show you what I have. So I don't really know exactly what this one is. It looks like a heart-shaped philodendron. It's very possible. I know that they get mixed up a lot with one of the Pothos ones, or Pothos. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Either way. So, because some of these are heart-shaped a little bit. By the way, I got this from one of the vines at work, and he's rooting pretty well. Got some good ones in there. You can see past all the calories. Got a really good one right there. And then this one, golden Pothos. Like I said, I don't know if I'm saying the word Pothos right. I always heard it pronounced Pothos, so if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But so I got this golden one from work. He's rooting pretty well too. And like I said, I need to change out some of this water. I'll probably do that tonight. And so yeah, he's rooting pretty good. Not as good as him over here. He's got some good strong ones, but he's rooting pretty good nonetheless. And then this one, I believe he is from the same kind of plant, because my job, they had this by itself, and then he had two different ones. So for all I know, he's got one of each. So, move this box out of the way. This guy. So I was watching a video, one of Harley G's. She's another YouTuber. I watch a lot of her, actually. She has talked about propagating the prayer plant. I believe it's also, I'm probably murdering it, the magenta, like that, either way. I saved this guy from a grocery store in Newport News, Virginia, and he was just horrible looking. But I read, and I believe she talked about how she's had good luck with propagating them in water. So the one I had that I saved, and I still have, I'm going to show you that here in a little bit, he was just soaking wet, and since I've brought him home and put him in another pot and put him in a nice location, he's just went wild with his growth, even in this cold season. So I figured, let's try it out. So I took a couple cuttings, and this is the one that started rooting first, obviously, but I was so excited because I saw last night that these were coming out, and these are rooting like super well. I'm hoping to be planting all of these in the spring. And then this guy I got as a gift from that same lady in Virginia Beach. It was already in a pot, but he wasn't doing very well, so I took him out, and it was just one long vine, well, one small vine. He had like these 3 leaves and then this big one. I don't think I'm going to get any roots out of this big one. I'm just, give it a shot while I'm rooting everything else. But the plant she gave me didn't have a whole lot of roots. So I went ahead and took the vine out of the pot, rooted, or cut everything for one leaf at a time, and I'm attempting to root them. Because they're so small though, I'm using a pebble to keep them in place. But since I've done this, I'm going to slowly turn it so I don't make the pebble fall. Is it one or two of them? Only one of them is rooting really well, which is kind of sad. Actually, no, there's one. There he is. Where is he? There he is, up there up top. The other one's rooting too. Just there's two of them rooting. One's not really doing anything. I don't know if it's going to. But I really hope that I can get good places with him, because he's one of my favorites. I just love the patterns in his leaves, and the texture of the plant itself is just like, ooh, I gotta get my nails done. I just love the pattern and the texture. It's just amazing. So, like I said, I am new to the plant world. So these two here, my daughter and I went to, well, she didn't go with me to get this one, but she went with me to a local plants shop named Anderson's in Newport News, and they had these little guys in like mini pots, and they weren't labeled or nothing. And then when I brought him home, he grew. He was like half this size when I brought him home. And I believe my daughter and I have overwatered him. I read somewhere that when they get this way, they've been overwatered. But he's got just a ton of new growth. Like here's a new leaf here, and it's just so exciting. And then I've got a little one down here, and then two more down here. And I thought I saw a branch coming out somewhere of another leaf. But so he's still growing, he's still doing really good, and he's kind of got what looks like a little bit of, I don't know if I can see that, a little bit of pink. So like he'll be really pretty when he's bigger. But I'm gonna wait until this completely dries out. He's definitely damp. So I think that we just kind of overwatered him, so he's just, he's ready. This guy I got from another local, like family owned garden center, Ken Matthews in Grafton, and he also, very similar, was not labeled. I didn't know what I was getting. He had 2-3 leaves about this size. This is the newest leaf that came out. And then I know I'm not saying it right, so if I can find a way to put it in on the screen, I will. If I don't, then I'll put it in the description, because I cannot say this plant. But he's going to get repotted this weekend. He is way too big for this itty bitty pot. But I love him. I love the ridges, and I am in love with the tuberous here. It's just so pretty. And I recently found out last night that, because I had noticed, like, when I have a tendency to touch leaves, if you haven't noticed, I would go to do this and he'd be wet, and I hadn't watered him. So I looked it up, and these things, they secrete, yeah. They basically have these pores, I guess is what they're called, on the leaves, and that's how they get rid of like excess water. So I had learned something last night. I don't know if I'm describing it correctly, but still, like, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, he's like one of my all-time favorites, and I kind of hope that he continues to blossom, not literally, but grow. So, like I said, new into this is my messiness. This was another gift from somebody that I used to work with. She retired. She was supposed to take it home, and she didn't. And she's like, you know what, you can have it. I've got plenty, and I know you're getting into houseplants, so just take it home. It was just these 3, and then just this last week he's popped out a new one, which makes me really happy. And it looks like right here he's getting ready to pop out another one. Can't focus on it right there. So that's really super cool. And I have no idea what he but he is. So move him over. Bring him in real quick because he's sitting off to the side. My spider plant, I've been doing a lot of babying to him. He's also from work, and he's got a little bit of new growth here, but I think because of the weather, he's just not doing very good. He's just kind of hanging out, but I hear those are kind of hard to kill, so I should be good. This guy, so far, since I have been doing anything with plants, I kill these things. I don't know what I do to it, but I just can't. I don't know. One time so what this was a polka dot plant from Home Depot. And I love polka dot plants. But I literally, it's like soaking wet, and I don't remember the last time I watered it. So I don't know what's going on with it. I have a feeling though that it's probably got root rot, but I'm experimenting. We'll see. I always usually end up throwing them out, but there's still some green. There's still a little bit of green, so I might be able to do something with it. I don't know. Let me know if it's a lost cause. Anyway, so I've also gotten into the succulent box, which is super cool, and I will definitely be getting more. This is from my very first box. This is a window Haworthia, I think is how you say it. He's gotten very, very big since I brought him home, or since he was brought here, and he's even got some, what looks like that's a pup right here. I believe that's kind of coming off to the side right there. But he needs to be repotted too. I was going to wait until the spring. I'm kind of not messing with my succulents and aloe until springtime. I'm making a mess. Let's talk about him. My son, he'll be turning 7. He, I guess, is somewhat jealous at the fact that his sister and I have all these houseplants, and that I don't, or he doesn't. So around Halloween, I found the Venus flytrap, and we actually got to witness it once, eating a fly, which was kind of cool. I have never seen it like in person. I've seen videos, but never in person. So he really loves this thing. We have named him Seymour from the movie. I know that the plant was not named Seymour, but we've named him Seymour. And I'm thinking about making a terrarium video for him because I really want to get him out of this goofy box, and I really feel like he could, like, I haven't killed him yet. I've killed one of these before too where I didn't know nothing. So I've been trying to keep him more humid, and, you know, kind of randomly during the day, but he's been doing really good. I haven't killed him yet, so that's always a plus. I think that is the leaf right there that ate the fly on the end. But yeah, that's Seymour. That's probably the only house plant I think that we have that we've named, and I think we named him because he actually eats things. And then I've got my Thanksgiving cactus. He was not advertised as that. He was advertised as Christmas, but a friend told me that it's not a Christmas cactus, it's a Thanksgiving cactus, and he's about done with his blooms. I'm just gonna pop those off. But I think he's doing pretty good. She, he, whatever. I've been calling my plants he's. I don't know why. But he needs some water, but he's doing good. He's grown a little bit too since I brought him home. They seem to love this window. Here's another one that girl in Virginia Beach gave me. It's a baby Monstera deliciosa, if I'm saying that right. He did have 2 leaves, but there was something going on in the pot. The second leaf wasn't looking very good, so I did what a lot of other YouTubers and Instagrammers have been talking about when there's a plant that you really, really like and you want to save. So, and this was my first Monstera. I've never owned one, but I love how they look, and I know you could probably see one here on the end. I'll get to him too. But yeah, so I took him out of the pot, I cut the bad one off, and I stuck him back in water. I kind of want his roots longer. I kind of don't like the fact that he was put in a pot with as little roots as he had, because this is actually grown, like, I don't know, that's not even 2 inches of roots, and I know that people like to wait till they're like 4 inches long, and when I took him out of the pot, he had like 1 inch of roots, and I think that's what was going on there. But, and I'm not 100% on this, but that right there, I don't know if you can see it, that little bump, I'm hoping and praying that that is going to be a new stem. Like, I really am, and I think it might well be, because of the other one I'm getting ready to show you. But that's my baby Monstera. He was my first. Maybe I'll call him Little Eddie. He won't be Little Eddie long though if he survives. All right, so I guess we'll just hop to this big one. My big one. Now, anybody that knows me knows I have massive hands, and my hand still can't do the whole leaf. I got this as a cutting from somebody off of Facebook, and when I brought it home, he only had a little bit of roots. Let me see if I can pull him up. Down at the bottom where that little bushel is, and he's been rooting like crazy up top, and then there is definitely another stem coming out right there. I'm not used to where the camera is on this phone. But yeah, I'm so excited about him. And I've been toying with the idea of calling him like Big Frankie. I don't know. But he's just so pretty. He is like my pride and joy. Like, I am just so in love with this plant. And then you can probably see the rest of them in my kitchen. They're mostly in my kitchen. And I got my Calla Lilly, which I did not realize was a dyed Calla Lilly until I brought him home and had been, I put him in a better pot, and he actually needs water. I have to water my plants after all this. But I still love him. I love the combination of like the dyed stuff with the new growth of green. So it adds a little different texture. He needs to come off. He's had it. He's sad. He's sad. But yeah, and he's still popping out new growth here and there. Like, but yeah, he's doing pretty good. I don't know how long you can keep a Calla Lilly, but that's that. So that's the houseplants on my counter, and then I've got I am this in depth into it. I collect rainwater for Seymour. They say you should water these guys not with tap water or even distilled water, that you should use rainwater. So he has his own little rainwater mister, and I pour a little bit of rainwater in his actual pot like once a month, maybe. Not once a month, about twice a month. I got him in the beginning of October, so he's been watered I think 2 or 3 times, but he's cool. Anyway, so I've been noticing I was rambling quite a lot over there by the window, and I'm gonna try and not continue that, or I'll have to do like a two-parter, not potter, haha, plant pun, two-parter with the other, like just do my kitchen plants in one video, my bedroom plants in another video. But so these are not all mine. Okay, not all mine. This guy's mine. This is my Dracaena I got from Ken Matthews as well, and he is going, I don't know what's going on with him. I'm gonna repot him. Right now he is currently in a mix of cactus and just regular black gold Miracle Grow potting soil, and I added a little bit of granular fertilizer last week and gave him some good water, and he seemed to be doing a lot better. I'm gonna come around this side of the table because I might get better light if I do that. Oh look, I do. Haha. But when I brought him home, he was in a little bitty pot, like my little window succulent over there, and I mean little, and he was like about as big as he is now. But I've noticed that all this up here, that's a lighter green. Get my hand out of the way so you can see. That's all new stuff. So I know he's doing better. I don't know a whole lot about this plant. I just like it. I think it's really super cool. But I had to cut one of these off last night because it turned completely red and like was just hanging. Like it was like, I give up. I'm done. I'm done with life. Gotta let this world behind, kind of thing. And hashtag if you watch Letterkenny. Anyway, so he's doing better. His palms aren't like drooping as bad, but like he was pretty sad a while back. Like he was drooping way worse. So he's doing much better. But this is my, I believe it's the Dracaena Magenta or Maranta. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But anyway, he's mine. These are not mine. They're my mother's. This is my mother's, and this is my mother's. This is her Jade plant, and I'm going to repot him because he has got things just fall. All of her succulents that she has, this is what's been happening. Okay, this stuff's just been coming right off, and I really feel like, did it focus? It's just pruny. And so I really think it's because it doesn't have any drainage. She also bought a different cactus soil than I have, and all my succulents are doing really well. So I don't know if that's the difference. But I do think he needs to be in a different pot because she has a thing for milk glass, but this does not have a drainage hole in it, and neither does this guy. And succulents don't like sitting in dampness, and I mean just look at this. Look, I did barely touched it. They're just falling off. So she wants me to try and save them. So I will probably do, I don't know, maybe I'll do a repotting video too. But they all need help. Like, I just put them in Dixie cups and brought them home because she had them in this big round thing with no drainage hole, and I was not carrying that big heavy thing here. But he's just, I don't know if it's really gonna be worth anything. She got them from Lowe's, but she got them the same day that I had gotten some stuff from Lowe's that were also succulents, so I can't say that that's why that it's a Lowe's thing. I really think that it has to do with the container they were sitting in. I really do. But her Jade is super pretty. I have a Jade too, but my Jade does not have this red. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Another one just right off. Might be propagating this weekend. Which I find propagating succulents at the moment hard, even though I've been told that it's easy. So if you've got suggestions, also leave those in the comments. I would love to read them. So my two new babies are my Peperomias. I got these this past week from Ken Matthews Garden Center in Grafton. I already talked about that once. That's where, oops, sorry, my finger. That's where I got my Dracaenas. And the other one in the window that I told you I don't think I'm pronouncing right. And I'm sorry, I keep putting my finger in front of the camera. So I've got a Peperomia Tricolor. And yes, I still have, well, I'll take that off later. But he was the best one they had on their little Peperomia shelf, and he's got some new growth, like just about everywhere. But I was excited because of the pink. I don't have a whole lot of plants that have pink, so, and Peperomias are just so cool. Like, I don't know, just the way their leaves are, is they're very similar to a fiddle leaf fig. They're just more like a plastic or a rubber. It's really hard to explain those. But so I got him last week, and then I got this one last week, and he is another one of my favorites. He's just cool. He's got some new growth too. You can see a little baby guy right there. I just love him. He's so pretty. Like I said, I keep calling my plants boys. I don't get it. It's an addiction, I guess. All right, so one pet peeve of mine with YouTube videos like hauls and tours and anything that involves walking around with the camera is, and I know that it's hard to not do it because if you're like me and have the addiction longer than I, or have just, I don't know. I don't like the moving too fast. I get very nauseous watching people. Ooh, 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 ooh. Moment. Cardinal having an ADD moment, guys. Hey, little guy. Oh, little girl. She must be looking for food for her. Focus. Focus. Let's get down to her level. See if she'll fly away. Up. Up. Where I am. Pretty. Isn't she pretty? She's a pretty one. Hey, get off my group. Oh, do not mind the dirty windows. Oh, she's gone. Okay, so back to on track. Yeah. Gotta love just dreary wintertime. I don't like people that film things and they turn so quickly. So like you're gonna notice a lot of me like trying to move slow because that's just how I am. But this is it. This is the mama plant I was talking about. So this door is also south facing and I really want to get a new switch hands here because my hand's shaking. I want to get a new camera so I can film a time lapse of this because I would love to watch my own plant do the praying thing that these plants do. But I had pictures and I'm gonna have to take more because I think they got deleted when my daughter was playing with my phone. But and then new leaf. I've got new leaves like coming up like crazy. But I've got pictures of during the day with them being down and then up, and they literally will not let you move them up. Like it's like no. But my goodness, so this pot, I put him in this pot when I brought him home, like, you know, almost immediately. Like he was so soaking wet that you could wring the water out of his dirt like a sponge, and it was gross. I know they say to keep those plants moist, but not that moist. I mean, come on, that was insane. So he's got, there's a new baby right there too. He's got some stuff I need to trim off. But so I brought him home, repotted him, and like it was almost like he went into shock, but with like bugs. The next morning I woke up and he had just, I believe they were mealy bugs, and they were all over him. I mean, all over him. I had to like treat him like 3 or 4 times, and I kept him out in the garage, and that's kind of why I have him by himself still, because I'm I don't know, he's just by himself for now. But yeah, the growth that I cut and put in the window, like he was coming out to here, like he's just super cool. He's another one of my favorite plants. Like I'm turning into a Calathea plant person too. Like he's just so cool, so pretty. So don't mind the dirty floor or my really bad garage door. But this is my other plant corner. Yes. Come on, let's back up. Okay, so you see my Jade plant up top? That's mine. So we'll start on one side. I decided to get a wild hair at my rear end, and I attempted to grow my own lemon tree inside. He's got new growth. This is new growth up top. So that was kind of exciting to see. He is a lot more green than he was. He was very yellow, and I started giving him Epsom salt water, and he's starting to turn green again. So he's doing pretty good. That's why he's got like that film on him, is because I've been spritzing him with the water, and I think it's doing something to his leaf. But he's growing a lot, actually. And then I have a very leggy peace lily that my mother gave me several years ago, and I'm just now noticing, holy cow, he's pushing out a new leaf. I didn't see that until just now. That's so cool. I don't know. But yeah, he's not very happy though. He's got a couple doesn't make any sense. He's got a couple stems that are falling over, and that's because I decided to divide him, and then I made this smaller plant, and he's also not very happy on one side. And I think I just cut the tuberous or whatever, the tube root. I don't know what you call that. I think I cut it in the wrong spot because it's on the same side. It's on one side of the plant, on each plant. So I think it's just that side of the plant is in shock, I think. But my dragon finger plant that I brought home from that girl from Virginia Beach as well. I'll get out of the window light here. This little guy has actually grown quite a bit. He is not typically one of my favorites. I don't know why. I mean, I like the coloring of this, but he's just, I'm not a fan of those type of plants, I guess. Still cool though. My much better peace lily, I do not remember where I got him from. And another one that I got from a girl in Virginia Beach, I believe it's a Chinese evergreen. I'm not 100% on that. She said she couldn't remember what it was called, but I kind of want to repot him too. I don't like what he's sitting in. I don't even know what he's sitting in. It looks like mulch, honestly. And then up here, she gave me a Jade from her mother Jade plant, and he's doing really good. He does not have the same issue that my mom's plant does. Mine does not have the red tips. At least I don't see red tips. And then I've got some new growth coming on it in a couple places. So, and mine has drainage holes. So I think I need to take hers and put it in different pot for sure. This is my first peperomia, and I really don't know if this one likes me. He's been dropping leaves this week, but I believe it's a variegated teardrop. I think Lowe's had it advertised as a Peperomia pixie. I really don't think that's what it was. It looks like a variegated teardrop. I looked at pictures and I really think that's what it is. But he's so cool. The reason why I bought him was, one, it's variegated. I'm a sucker for variegation. But the bottom of the leaves are velvet. They remind me of like rabbit ears. Like they're just so cool. And then this guy, I got him from the succulent box as well, but it wasn't part of the subscription. Like I actually went and ordered him because of another YouTuber, Plant Me Ashley. Like I've been watching a lot of her cactus hauls, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a cactus. That'd be kind of cool to have a cactus in my collection. And they sent it to me like this, which I kind of don't like, but I kind of do. I didn't know what to do with it. I've never had a cactus before, but I wanted to keep him because he's got like purple, and it's so pretty. And he's blue, and he's only green in a couple spots from me trying to put him in the pot because they sent it to me bare root. So I put it in this pot, which was a hanging pot that I had my string of raindrops in, which I will show too, and it's not doing very good, by the way. But he needs a bigger pot, I think, because his root system like goes all the way down to the bottom of the pot. And my son knocked him over one time by accident, and that's why he's kind of leaning over now. But he needs to be repotted too, I think. But So anyway, that is my kitchen plants. And yes, I have a dog. And just FYI, he is not interested in any of my plants. Like at all. He's more interested in laying in his bed or following me around, which I'm surprised he's not behind me. Usually he's right behind me and I trip over him. And look, see, there he is, laying in bed. Hey, Red, say hi.